with the breaking inputs coming in as the story is now growing at a very fast pace. Republic has now accessed sensational details of Mullah Baradar's call to Washington, D.C. Baradar has warned the US of the Haqqani network and its control and says that they can't implement Doha Charter in this situation now. So where does the US stand and how will the US now deal with this issue at hand, given how the entire Afghanistan crisis has been handled by America until now? This could have massive consequences because Mullah Baradar is calling Washington DC directly and warning the US of Haqqani control, saying that they can't implement Doha Charter in this situation. Captain Alok Bansal is with me on the phone line, and sir, your first response to what are the options in front of the US now? They are responsible for all the crisis and the mess.
See, US always knew what is the situation. They knew Admiral Mike Mullen had said long back that Haqqani network is nothing but the veritable arm of Pakistan's ISI. So having known that, they have still allowed Haqqani network to move in. They are the ones who captured Kabul, and they are the ones who are controlling levers of power in this Taliban dispensation. Now, the only option for US is to start sanctioning Pakistan, because you cannot deal with Haqqani network unless, of course, you deal with the Pakistan and its military establishment. US still has a lot of leverages. It can actually, through IMF, bring Pakistan to its knees, and that is what the US needs to do. Already, Blinken's statement and the US congressional hearing has actually highlighted that US has realized that how Pakistan has been behaving duplicitously with them. And this attempt by Pakistan to cobble together a government which is dominated by Haqqani network is extremely inimical to US interests. So US needs to act now, and I think they should start turning the levers as far as Pakistan is concerned, because without bringing Pakistani military establishment on its knees, it will not be feasible for US to get the Doha Charter implemented or ensure that Haqqanis yield as far as whatever US had bargained with Mullah Baradar and his gang.
No, but that exactly is the point, because it was America in the first place that was treating Taliban different from the other terror groups and was engaging in talks with Taliban and holding those backdoor meetings. And now this situation has arrived. What will they do now? What can they do now?
See, the US has been flawed all through. There is no doubt about it that the way shameful manner in which the US negotiated with Taliban, bypassing the legitimate government of Afghanistan, and the manner in which it pulled out of Afghanistan has been extremely shameful. And I think if they want to extricate themselves and at least restore some semblance of respect for them, I think they need to act against Pakistan, because now there is a huge demand all across Afghanistan by different sections of Afghan society, which are wanting that Pakistan should get out of Afghanistan, sanction Pakistan. That's the demand various sections of society in Afghanistan are making. And to that extent, even now, if US starts acting against Pakistan, it will restore some semblance of respectability as far as the United States is concerned. Otherwise, at this point of time, US is extremely looked down upon by all sections of Afghan society and even other countries in the neighborhood, which now perceive US as an unreliable ally.
No, but Captain, this crack in the Taliban, do you think in the broader sense it is advantageous for the globe, for leading nations, for India?
See, firstly, we need to understand that Taliban is wedded to an extremely radical obscurantist ideology. Whenever you have outfits with extremely radical ideologies, even their tolerance for ambiguity is extremely limited. And consequently, even slight difference in ideological basis creates fissures. Here, besides ideology, there is, of course, the ethnic angle. There is also the Pakistan angle, because Haqqani network is very, very closely affiliated with Pakistan. Mullah Baradar, after having been released, has been pursuing a fairly independent line. Being a founder of Mullah Omar, he feels he is at a very, very higher pedestal. Now Haqqanis have been brought at par with him. Haqqanis have been known to be targeting US interests in the past. So this Sure, maybe superficially the world might feel that it is good because this shows the weakness of Taliban and this might create fissures within Taliban. And that has always been the pitfall of any radical outfit in the past. Historically, it's always been the case. So radical outfits, be it Marxists, be it Islamists, always trying to crack on ideological prism. So this could be one way of looking at it. But the fact is, that at this moment,
Right.
the only advantage that I visualize is that it allows the global community to build up the resistance to both these outfits if they start fighting with one another, with each other, and that will allow, I think, Afghanistan to be rid of these obscurantist outfits which have actually captured Kabul.
Oh, yes, and that's a very positive thought. Captain Alok Bansal, thank you for speaking to Republic this evening. I want to go across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, who has been tracking this story very closely because, Abhishek, it's important to understand the inside situation right now to really get a sense of how different stakeholders are reacting and could react in the time to come.
Well, Suesha, we have to understand the backdrop in which all these developments are happening. The Doha Agreement was signed in 2018 between the United States and Taliban. And on behalf of Taliban, it was Mullah Baradar who was at that time head of the political office. Essentially, he was the face of Taliban. He was the Taliban. And now it happens that once the government is formed, the Prime Minister is Hassan Akhundzada. Mullah Baradar is reduced to a deputy prime minister. The Haqqanis get all the key ministries. And that happens within 72 hours of the Pakistan ISI chief, General Faiz Hamid, flying down to Kabul, even before Pakistan has the courage to, recognize the Taliban regime. And then subsequently, all this acting ministries are distributed, where Haqqanis control the regime in Kabul, from the police chief of Kabul to the mayor of Kabul to the defense minister of Afghanistan to other ministries, including one deputy prime minister. So I think Mullah Baradar finds his hands tied. That's what our sources tell us. And that's why he has expressed his exasperation to the Qataris. He has directly protested to them. And then we are told that it's likely that he has already spoken to the Americans and told them that if you continue to indulge with the Pakistanis in the manner that you do, because indulging with the Taliban in present format where Haqqanis rule the roost is actually indulging with the Pakistanis by proxy. In that case, we are told that the communication is that you can't expect this Taliban regime to really implement the Doha Agreement in its letter and spirit. So I think this is the first confirmation, I would say, of a breach that has happened within Taliban regime. Mullah Baradar is an important guy. He's someone who negotiated the Doha Agreement, who was the face of Taliban, and now if he's withdrawing himself, we are told by our sources as we are breaking that it's been a week that he has attended a single government meeting, despite the fact that he's a deputy prime minister in charge of some important ministries. And if he's in departments, if he's not going, attending, even if he's not been, cornered by Haqqanis in a manner that is humiliating and perhaps physically isolating, by which I mean the reports that suggested that maybe some physical harm might have come to him. I'm not suggesting that. Our sources are also not suggesting that. It's just that he is making his protest very visible by not attending any of the meetings. He has communicated the same to the Qataris, who happen to be most important interlocutors, and also to the Americans. Suesha.